This is When the Fuck Did I Become Old? The fun, edgy and unapologetically honest podcast about the experiences of ageing, where, as the name suggests, nothing is off the table. And I'm your host, Jo Parker.
And I'm Kev. And this week we're going to be talking about Valentine's, dating over 50, and the 1 year anniversary of this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Happy birthday to me.
Well, yeah, happy birthday to you. Exactly. So we're 52 episodes in, or should I say you're 52 episodes in. And you started this a year ago on Valentine's.
Yeah.
So you kind of come full circle in a year.
Yeah.
So if you just kind of look back over that journey, because there's been a few changes to composition, format, presenters over that year, then what have you enjoyed the most over the last year, Jo?
So what have I enjoyed? So the new journey, it's been a lesson, I've been learning. I've been completely developing as it's build your parachute as you go, because I thought I was starting off with my gorgeous friend Galen, who then couldn't, said her work commitments couldn't continue to do this. Then I did, as you know, I did the podcast competition, as it were, with 3 hosts, and then ended up with you. So what's been very unexpected is, one, you said you would do it. I mean, I always thought you would be a good co-host. And 2, you're actually enjoying it. Well, aren't you?
I am.
Aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
Good. So, yeah.
And what surprises have come along on that journey, apart from me,
apart from you,
winding up as your co-host as well as your live-in partner? What other surprises have taken place over that 12 month
period? So I never thought that I would be up for an award of any kind, for podcasting in the first 6 to 8 months. It was amazing. I was up for the Pro Aging Award, Pro Aging Podcast Award in the Advantages of Age. That was interesting. That was totally unexpected. And then also, I never thought that part of my social media would go as viral as it did with our episode that we did pre-Christmas, and whether or not our adult children should spend Christmas with us. So we got practically 200,000 views on Instagram and quite a lot of interaction. So that was unexpected as well.
Yeah, that was a bit mental.
Yeah.
And as we come to the beginning of the second year, what do you think you've learnt in the first 12 months that's going to stay with you as I need to do this, or I need to not do that?
Well, so as you know, I've done quite a lot of Anthony Robbins, and Anthony Robbins always said people overestimate what they're going to do and make in the first year and underestimate what they're going to do and make in 5 years. And I have definitely overestimated it. I didn't think it would take me this long to build a following. Right. I'm surprised. It's surprising that the amount of listeners we have, this is a hint to you listeners, this is the amount of listeners that we have, don't follow us. They just dip in and dip out. So it's taking me longer to build than I thought it would. So, and that's I think that's what most entrepreneurs always do, is they always overestimate what they're going to do and underestimate in a year, and then underestimate what will happen in 5 years. So I will still be here in 5 years' time, and I will probably be Joe Rogan, not Joe Parker, by that stage. That's a joke. But yes, but it's a learning curve. It's a complete learning curve.
Cool. So as we look at that loop, and we're back at Valentine's.
Back at Valentine's.
Now that we are a week away from Valentine's, what thoughts have you got about Valentine's and how people of our age demographic should approach it or celebrate it?
So I think I think we just, in our age group, and probably in every age group, we split into 3 types of people. We split into the singles being, well, actually, no, come back to that. We split into us, okay? We are...
You and me, us.
Yeah, us. 8 years or so into a relationship. So we are in a relationship which is steady, and do we need to make an effort for Valentine's Day?
Okay.
And then we have the singles who are oh God, it's Valentine's Day. I'm alone. There's all this stuff, the media hype, the restaurants I can't go out because restaurants are full of couples and everybody's got roses and flowers and chocolates and hearts. And I can't actually be seen out in public because I'm single. And I think that happens for any age group. And then you've got the newly dated, just started dating. How much is enough? How much is too much? What should I do? All the pressures of Valentine's Day for those three categories. And I think it is the same for every stage, but for the over 50s comes all the baggage that comes with being over 50 and past experiences. If that makes sense.
And if you look at how our Valentine's Days evolved over the last 7 years, so we always do something on Valentine's Day.
But we were in danger of not doing anything this year.
We were. So there has been, with the maturing of that relationship, that there's been a bit of a shift in focus, right? So to begin with, we were always out for dinner on Valentine's. And then we had a weekend away.
We did.
To the Hotel du Vin in Henley one year.
We did.
We've been to the Shard, stayed overnight at the Shard.
We have, yeah.
And this year, we almost didn't have anything at all.
Well, we didn't really until recently.
Until about a week ago.
So how did we slip? Do you think we slipped into the sort of like the dangerous zone of being secure and taking each other for granted at the sort of 8 years? Because this is going to be our 8th Valentine's Day together. Do we just think, oh, well, I know he loves me. I know she loves me. Do we make an effort?
So there is a bit of that. There is a bit of that, which I think, at least we're both aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So we're both aware of it, and we know that it's a trap, right? That we don't want to fall into, because you could just let the whole thing completely slide.
You could,
and
we could. Absolutely.
But we have actually come up with quite a cool thing,
to
do, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of those things which that's only happened. Well, I say only happened. That's partially happened as a result of us living together.
Yeah.
When we were in the dating phase, it was much more of like you're targeted and prepared, and you sort of diarise things in advance and look forward to seeing each other, etc., etc.
But then we slipped into that in other things as well. That does not just Valentine's Day.
No. Well, it's the whole cohabiting thing. Kind of.
Yeah.
You get into a place of comfort, don't you?
You can do, absolutely.
You can do, but you have to make an effort to.
So we got into a place of comfort of things like, well, you've complained bitterly that you are in a place of, not a place of comfort, but not having enough space where I'm not there to build me a surprise. Because up until when I moved in, every year for Christmas, I would get an album of what we'd done, a photographic album with some wording on what we'd done that previous year.
Yeah, I haven't had enough time to do that.
You haven't done that.
And
you complained because I'm around there.
And we haven't got a calendar either. I always used to do a calendar every year of photos of us from previous months. And we haven't got one at all. No. We've literally printed out blank pieces of paper at home to try and form a calendar. So, so some of that is a little bit of a sort of a maturing and a comfort in the relationship. But you kind of have to you don't have to. I choose to kick myself. For that to go. No, you really got to try. But
it's not necessarily that we have to do it on that date, on the 14th of February. That date is there to, as you say, give us a kick, to remind us that actually it is important to show that you care and to make an effort to show that you care and to do so.
Yeah,
to do things
it's
together.
About making.
Otherwise, we're in danger of going to the gym together and then going and having dinner and sitting on the sofa.
Yeah. And we do know some people who do that, actually. I had a conversation about in the last week, actually, who are a lot younger than us. and are saying, all we do is go to the gym and then go home. We don't go out.
So we're using Valentine's Day as a gentle reminder that we need to do stuff.
We are. Just because you need to invest in your relationship to keep it fresh. In whatever way works for you.
So the singles, I understand that. At 50 plus, where I have been single at 50 plus, you're caught in that. Should I care about this made-up holiday? To actually, should I care about
Valentine's Day?
Yeah, the Valentine's Day. So should I care about whether or not I actually place a lot of importance on this made-up holiday and I'm single? Or actually, do I really want to be in a relationship? Is that sort of like, it's a time to sort of hold up a mirror and go, is it important to me to be in a relationship because everybody else seems to be in a relationship? Obviously, on Valentine's Day and the lead up to it, you don't see people going, It's not, it's not part of Valentine's Day to say I'm single, I'm done this. So you're caught up in that. And does it mean that something's wrong, or does it mean something's wrong? You don't want to be in a relationship. It's an interesting, introspective moment in time, Valentine's Day, because it brings up that for singles, what it did for me.
And the characteristics that people look for, like if you're looking for a partner, if you are dating and you're looking for a partner at this post 50 point in life, there was another thing I was reading in the Sunday papers the other day, talking about the characteristics that people look for when they prioritise at that age group.
Right.
And there was a sort of 80% similarity between women and men in terms of what they look for, and then just one or two things that were different, that skew between the sexes. So everybody's looking for intelligence, humour, honesty, kindness in a partner at that point in life. Then men are looking for a facial attractiveness for a woman.
Yeah.
Women prioritise dependability for the man. So maybe that's a reaction to past relationships that have gone south.
But I think we come to a relationship.
But interesting that there's a kind of a consistency there, right? In that there's like at least 4 traits there that everybody's looking for.
Which are?
Which were intelligence, humour, honesty, and kindness.
Yeah.
And those don't get prioritised in the same way when you're younger.
No.
So so that's interesting. And then the other challenges, I suppose, with the over 50s is that you're looking at people with a number of different characteristics that they bring to the table in terms of what they're looking for in a relationship.
Is that called baggage?
Well, so first of all, there is the history thing, which is that you have to accept at 50 plus that anybody you meet has had a life. Right? And that life could be quite complex in terms of relationships, children, families that it brings with you. But they're all coming with a history, including yourself, right? So you're not a clean sheet of paper either.
No.
So
but you'd be worried, wouldn't you, at 50 if no one had any emotional baggage? Wouldn't you think if you meet somebody over 50 who hasn't got an ex anywhere, you think, what's wrong?
Well, you would get that's a bit unusual.
With a man, I certainly think, well, you're
so there's that to deal with, which is just, I suppose, a matter of acceptance, really. That you have to just go into it, accepting that that's going to be the case and that that's fair. And they're just as long as they don't drag their history right in front of you in a way that's obtrusive.
And I suppose for a woman, because a woman always, isn't there saying that a woman goes into a relationship believing that she can change a man, and a man goes into a relationship believing that a woman will never change? That isn't always the case. So for a woman dating a man over 50, there are different characteristics and habits, I would say, that a man's got that may never change, and so therefore you need to accept him as he is rather than as you think he might be. But I don't think
that's just about the male thing. I think that's just true that when you're of that age, you have had a life, you have a bunch of habits, you have a bunch of the way you like to do the washing up, whatever it is. You have a bunch of habitual activities and standards, and you've got a way of life, right? And when you're younger, if you're getting together at 25, 30 or whatever, you can build your patterns and habits around each other possibly, right? When you're coming together later in life, you've already each got a way of doing things. And that kind of needs to be respected because that's not going to change, right? So those habits are quite ingrained. And you just need to accept that if you get them aligned, you're really, really lucky. But if you don't, you're going to have to accept there are some things that, someone's been doing for like 35, 40 years.
And then also,
not going to change tomorrow for you, right?
There's going to be, you're going to be in a relationship with their kids and possibly their ex, because if the kids are still at home, then there's all sorts of, texts to and fro from ex and changeover.
So that depends on the family stage they're at, right?
Yeah.
And so you kind of need to choose that.
You do.
You kind of need to choose, what are you looking for? Because you can, I mean, we had the luxury, I would argue, when we were dating, getting together, that although we both had families of our own, we'd both had previous partners, several of, and
speak for yourself.
more than one. We both had previous partners, right?
Yeah.
And we were not trying to recreate a new family
No.
at that point in time. That was not our primary motivation
No, it
for
wasn't.
dating. Our primary motivation for dating was entirely selfish,
Yeah.
in that it was about us. It was about, can I find someone that I can have some fun with?
Yeah.
Can I find someone that I have some shared interests with? Can I find someone that I find attractive? But it's about me or us. It wasn't about, can we create a synthetic family unit? No, it's like, would have it. The kids do get on, but that wasn't the primary goal.
No.
And that does vary with age. So when you go
does.
slightly younger, if you've got people dating but they still have kids at junior school or something like that, they could well be looking to create a synthetic family unit because they've got a different bunch of dynamics
Yeah, because
going
the
on there.
stepmother role that takes over is in that kind of, because the children are young enough to need supervision. Whereas when we got together, yours were, but then they weren't with you all the time, and I didn't get involved in supervision and parenting.
And one of yours was at uni and the other was at sixth form, so it was kind of a different.
Yeah, so they weren't really
different
living
gig.
at home. Yeah.
So so that gave us a bit of freedom. So again, that you kind of just need to think about those contextual elements of the family network and go, what am I really prepared to accept, put up with? What am I looking for? What am I not looking for? Another thing worth talking about, and again, depends how far past 50 you are when you're dating, it's the health and wealth topic.
Oh, yeah.
In that some people, as we know,
I have a friend.
Are extremely unhealthy.
Yeah, no, I had a friend who ended up marrying somebody slightly older than her. He's now passed away, but she did end up being his nursemaid.
So you kind of need to work out on that health angle. How important is that to you? Now, I don't really know how we ended up becoming gym freaks together.
Well, you were going to a gym and
I was, because I was slowly going. Oh, I started going because I stopped smoking. So I started going a lot because I'd stopped smoking.
And I came along too.
And then we had that yoga retreat thing that we went and did together.
We did.
And so we ended up building a habit, or well, what would you call it?
Hobby.
Yeah. Around going to the gym together.
Yeah. But it is really important to do that. Whether you're in whatever kind of relationship you're in, it is important to do that, because at some stage the children will leave home. So we played paddle this weekend with a couple who are in their early 50s and their children are teenagers, and they are actively going out and seeking hobbies and interests that they could do together, because they know that when the kids leave home, they need they want to make an effort, and they want to have something that they do together rather than separately, because you just then end up being flatmates, don't you, in your own home, which is not what a couple should be.
And then on the wealth side,
and finance
again, if you're coming together later in life, by definition, you're coming from previous relationships.
Yeah.
Those relationships may well have had painful financial consequences when you separated. So
you want to protect that.
Yeah, right. So quite often there's a defensiveness there, right, around the fact that you can't afford to lose again. Yeah. And you can't afford to be impacted negatively if the next relationship doesn't work out. So you kind of just need to work out where people are on that as well.
That's a really delicate subject to talk about at the beginning, though, isn't it? Don't you think?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And we didn't talk about it.
No.
I don't remember us talking about it.
Took a while for me to open up about my financial situation. So, yeah.
So, so that, again, people just need to understand where are you on that curve, right? And there was a thing in the paper recently about the financial compatibility of couples and to what extent they ever have a conversation about money. Yeah. To what extent they share bills or share bank accounts. Yeah. And that's quite different from when you're younger. So I can remember when I was younger and got married, you do the whole, joint bank account thing, houses in joint names, blah, 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 blah. And so that whole kind of union thing when you're younger happens quite naturally, I think, quite organically. Yeah. It's different when you come together and you're older, right? So we don't have a joint bank account.
No.
We do share bills.
Yep.
But we have independent accounts
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have a joint account. And that's not a problem for me.
It's not a
But
problem for me.
but people have different
Yeah.
expectations, right? So that's another thing to bear in mind
Yeah.
in terms of what somebody thinks they're actually getting themselves into in later life dating.
Yeah, because that's also part of the baggage that, or the qualities, whatever you like to call them, that is part of the baggage that comes there. Everybody's got a full history by this stage in terms of the finances, in terms of their emotions, in terms of their habits, is that you actually need to have those conversations before you fully commit, before you open up your bank account to somebody else, before you open up your house to somebody else, and before you actually say, right, okay, I'm going to, I don't know, marry you and without a prenup or something like that. And you then end up giving out half your salary and half your savings again just before you retire. So it's important to have those conversations. But the great thing about having those conversations later in life is that you know who you are, you know what you've got, you know what you will and you won't put up with. So therefore, those conversations, in theory, with two adults that know who they are, what they want, etc., should be easier to have and should be much more forthcoming and honest, rather than we'll sweep it all under the carpet and not talk about who we are and what we want, because actually we haven't got that long together, so we might as well make the most of it.
So, I mean, that sort of comes to the emotional transparency point, right? Which is, and maybe some men are not so great at this, right?
Yeah.
But you probably need to understand where you are on that story, because one of the advantages of aging is that, as you say, you can find people who are actually much more developed and emotionally transparent and happy to have that conversation.
You'd hope.
Conversely, you can find some people who are emotionally challenged and actually quite closed off,
Yeah,
right?
because of the trauma of their previous relationships. Yeah, true.
So, and money in the relationship can mean different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, they talk about attachment styles and love styles, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So money isn't just money. So money can mean about 3 or 4 different things to people, right? So money can be a substitute or proxy for safety.
Yes.
It can be a mechanism of control.
Yeah.
It can be a symbol of freedom in that money enables you to indulge and engage in a variety of activities, or it can be seen as a token of love in itself.
Yeah.
Right. So actually understanding someone's
money language as well as your
money
love,
language,
as well as your love language,
as well as their love language, is
Yeah.
quite important if you're going to do the whole dating post 50 thing.
Yeah, true.
So in terms of how you discuss that and come to closure on it, is that something that you think we've done well?
What, just now? Or
No.
Oh, right, in our
relationship?
Yeah, in our relationship. Well, first of all,
We found a pattern that fits.
we found a pattern that fits. So first of all, which you did say, is that we came to this relationship not trying to get each other to fill the other parental role or spouse role. We came into this relationship both thinking, this is for me, this is for us. Do I like him? Do I like her? Can we get on? Do we have the same things in common? And it was a slow build in terms of introducing, more so to your kids. My kids are like, well, mum's dating, because they were 18 and 21, so at the time practically 17 and 20, but they were like, oh, mum's dating, so that's okay, this is mum's boyfriend, rather than this is my stepfather, because as you know, they've had a stepfather figure for 6 years in their life. They didn't need another one, although they do now refer to you as a stepfather. So what we did is we didn't put ourselves or the other person under any pressure to perform roles. We just had the luxury, and I do believe it's a luxury, to get to know each other and to see how we move together in a relationship, so that we were able to have fun and to get to know each other and to grow and to start talking about health, finances, dreams, etc., etc. And then I mean, we were together for 4.5 years before we moved in with each other, which some people think was, when you're going to move in, when you're going to move in. And we've got someone at the gym who's been under pressure from all her friends because she hadn't 7.5 years before she moved in with her boyfriend. Fuck off. It's none of your business. It's how the relationship grows. We had that luxury of being able to get to know each other and see if we do get on. And then we still make sure that you and I, we have an us as well as a me and a you, and that we make sure that us is prioritized, because it's really important that we look after our relationship, and we do things for each other, but we do things for the relationship. So the relationship doesn't, so we don't just sit on the sofa and watch TV and eat peanuts together. We do actually go out, we make an effort, we do things, and we do things that surprise each other as well, which is lovely. And that's our, we've learned each other's love language, and we deliver things in that love language, which is something that comes with time, understanding, honesty, and effort. And I think we've succeeded. I'm really happy with where we are. Thanks.
Which brings us back to the Valentine's weekend approaching.
Yeah.
Well, is it really a weekend? It is.
Yeah, it is.
Saturday.
Saturday.
It's
Absolutely.
Saturday. And so if you can enter a dating or romantic relationship openly, honestly, and be prepared to actually invest time and effort,
no expectations,
in understanding your sexual compatibility, your financial compatibility, your habitual compatibility, what your expectations are from family, etc., then you can actually find a great time, which I think we have found.
Yeah.
In each other. So that's our little journey for this week.
Yeah.
Enjoy Valentine's, whether you be single and you're going to, some people go to singles Valentine's.
Yeah, they do.
Actually.
Absolutely.
Or girls only Galentine's events.
Galentine's lovely.
But enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week with another episode. Thanks.